The Torah tells us in Parashat Shoftim, "V'osasa ben hadavar asher yagidu lecha yamin u'smal," that Chazal or rabbis tell us, we learn out from this pasuk, and the pasuk says it, that don't turn away from your rabbis, even if they tell you, don't turn away either from left or right. And Rashi quotes from the Sifri, even if the rabbis tell you left is right and right is left, you have to listen to them. But and kol shechin, how much more so if they tell you left is left and right is right. In fact, Herman Wouk, who wrote the book, I think it was a movie also, The Cain Mutiny. Cain being the name of the ship, mutiny being what happened on the ship. It was about, I haven't read the book or seen the movie, but what people tell me, it's about a captain on the ship who basically goes crazy. He doesn't get his strawberries, or doesn't get his eggs, and he just goes psycho on the staff. And the point being is, no matter what, the captain is always right on the ship. No matter what, kind of like a pilot's always right on the airplane. So Herman Wouk used to say, I got the name of my book from Rashi and Chumash. So I think he taught in Yeshiva University for a little while. So one of the boys raised their hands and said, that's not the pshat in Rashi. That if you look at the Ramban, that can't mean what Rashi means. You don't follow the rabbis even if they're wrong. That's the premise of the book, is even though the captain doesn't know what he's doing, listen to the captain anyway. So too, if the rabbis tell you something crazy, something wrong, you don't listen to them. So obviously that's not wrong, because the Mishnah tells us in Hurrios that if rabbis make a mistake, you got to bring a korban, you got to atone for it, or depending on if it's majority of Klal Yisrael individuals, but there's atonement. So the Ramban adds one word, is nirin. It appears. If you think they're wrong, then you have to listen to them. But if you're a Talmid Chacham, if you're a Torah scholar, and you know that what they're saying is wrong, then of course we don't listen. Rabbinic law is not binding in error, in contrast to the Cain mutiny. So there's a whole discussion in terms of when we say listen to the rabbis, how far does that go? In fact, it's an interesting Minchas Chinuch, Pri Megadan. The Minchas Chinuch writes in Siman Tuf Lamed, he quotes from the Beis Yosef. The Beis Yosef writes regarding the mitzvah Birkas Hamazon, that even though it's a mitzvah in Torah, but the Matbeya, the text of the Birkas Hamazon, is only midrabanan, kind of like according to the Rambam, Maimonides, even though tefillah is biblical, but the text is only rabbinical. So the Minchas Chinuch raises the question, let's say a person benches, and it could be by any mitzvah, but a person benches, he makes up his own text. He doesn't follow the text of the Chachamim. So the Minchas Chinuch first says that if he changes the text of Chazal, lo yatsa hainu midrabanan. So first the Minchas Chinuch says, well, okay, so he hasn't fulfilled his rabbinical obligation of benching, but Pashas, he has fulfilled his biblical obligation. And then he quotes, however, he quotes in the Pri Megadan, in the Psicha Koleles, that after the Gam Minat Torah lo yatsa, now maybe even Minat Torah, that once the rabbis set it up, so therefore, certainly everyone agrees if you don't follow the text of the Chacham, you don't fulfill the mitzvah d'Rabbanan. That's a given. The question is, but do you fulfill your mitzvah Minat Torah, or even the mitzvah midrabanan you don't? Because there's a famous Pri Megadan, he writes in the Psicha Kolel, he's talking about Kiddush. So we know the halacha is, it's a discussion, the Rishonim at the Rambam sheet, and the way we paskin is, Kiddush is a mitzvah Minat Torah, b'Devarim. When you recite the words of Kiddush, or perhaps when you say Makadesh HaShabbos in your Friday night davening, or other areas, however you fulfill it, it's a mitzvah b'Devarim. It's only the rabbis who said to fulfill your mitzvah midrabanan, we want you to make Kiddush over wine. So the Pri Megadan raises the issue, let's say today now, let's say a person only did the Kiddush with words, and he didn't do it over wine. So he raises the issue. Certainly, you haven't fulfilled your mitzvah midrabanan if you didn't make kiddush on the wine, but perhaps even your kiddush b'dvarim you didn't fulfill. And that's what the Pri Megadim writes. I mean, the kasu hatosis b'sukkah. Tosis in the beginning of Sukkah talks about someone who, it's a discussion either at Beis Hillel, Beis Shammai, Hillel and Shammai, in terms of if you have a Sukkah which is kosher min Torah, but not midrabanan, that the table's outside the Sukkah, and therefore you can end up where the food is. So the lashon is, Lo kiyamta mitzvah Sukkah miyamecha. You haven't fulfilled the mitzvah of Sukkah your whole life. If you sat in a sukkah which is kosher min ha-Torah, but pasur midrabanan. And that's what the Pri Megadim raises. Perhaps you're not yotze. That's the shaila in the Minchas Chinuch, whether you're only not yotze midrabanan, which of course you didn't do the mitzvah midrabanan, so you aren't yotze, or do I say you haven't even fulfilled your mitzvah min ha-Torah? So, what's the pshat in this machlokes? What's in the kudas ha-machlokes between these shittas, the suffix of the Minchas Chinuch, on whether midrabanan lo yatsa or even min ha-Torah lo yatsa? So I saw it brought down in one of the Svarim. They quote a famous Rav Chaim, Rav Chanan Wasserman, in his Kunteris Divrei Sofrim, which he talks about the laws of the Chachamim. We've spoken about it at length at different times. So he quotes B'Shem Rav Chaim. He wants to know a famous Chakira within Losaso. We said that Torah tells us Losaso, you have to listen to the Dinim D'Rabban and rabbinical laws. So what's Pshat? So Rav Chaim wants to know. Let's say someone, so we know if you violate Shabbos min ha-Torah, you violate Shabbos. Let's say you violated Shabbos rabbinically. Or let's say you ate non-kosher, but min ha-Torah it was kosher, only rabbinically it was prohibited. What violation, what have you violated? To borrow the lashon of Rav Chaim, is losas or lav koli or lav prati? In other words, do I say that when I eat non-kosher rabbinically, or if I violate Shabbos rabbinically, so basically I violated Shabbos? Or do I say no? Anytime I violate a rabbinical prohibition, it doesn't make a difference whether it's Shabbos, kosher, or anything else. I have violated a general rule of alav klali, mitzvah l'shmoa l'divrei chachamim. So that's how Rav Chanan and Rav Chaim want to point out there's a famous machlokes between the Rambam and the Ramban on Losasur. Again, what the nafkamina is, that is a discussion Rav Chanan goes into, but that's not our topic today. But basically, it's the Rambam writes, Maimonides writes, if we have to listen to the rabbis based on the pasuk of Losasur, so every rabbinical law is really a biblical law. So that's what the Rambam writes, and the Ramban asks, what are you talking about? If that's true, what about, we see the Gemara makes distinctions all the time. Safek d'oraisa l'chumra, a doubt regarding a biblical law was strict, a doubt regarding a rabbinical law was lenient. So, according to you, Rambam, why does the Gemara make a distinction? So perhaps that's min ha-Torah, there's no difference, maybe it's only midrabanim. So that's this famous discussion, Ramban. So some want to explain, based on this Rav Chaim, that the Rambam who holds the Yeshal called Davar Shel Devarim Isuru Miyuchad, so he holds it takes on the Shabbos and Kashrus, and therefore perhaps it's a Din Daraisa. That's the sheet of the Rambam. And the Ramban holds no, it's a Koli, so it's only D'Rabbanan. So according to this, they want to explain that's the suffix of the Minchas Chinuch, whether you Yotzi min ha-Torah midrabanan, could depend on this. In other words, according to the Rambam, that basically when the rabbis say you have to bench this way, you have to make Kiddush this way, and if you don't, you violate a din in Kiddush, or then we can discuss, so perhaps you get no mitzvah at all, because the rabbis define what the mitzvah is. But if you hold like the Ramban, it's just an Isser Klali, so you violate not listening to the rabbis, but the mitzvah min Torah is omedes. The mitzvah min Torah stays where it is, and therefore you fulfill your mitzvah min Torah. And in fact, that's what Rabbi Chanan quotes another example of this. He quotes the B'Shem HaEshkol. There's a discussion regarding Lovesh Kalayim B'tzitzis B'tzadim Izman Hazeh. Someone, we know that today we don't wear linen. Since we don't have, or we don't know for sure, we have tcheles. Today it's a question today whether we have it. And if we do have it, can we wear it? But either way, so there's a din d'Rabbanan that not to wear linen tzitzis or linen beged anymore. So therefore, this is a machlokas in the Rishonim whether someone goes ahead and violates the din d'Rabbanan and wears tzitzis, so you get makas on that. So therefore, that's what Rabbi Chanan points out. So if, in other words, how do we view it? Are you just violating the issue of kilayim now, of shatnez? So you have wool and linen, and therefore you violate the issue of daraisa, hence makas, or no? We do say, still, I say, though you still fulfill your mitzvah in Torah, you just violated not listening to the rabbis. So this is a famous issue among the Rishonim, Achronim, Ramban, the Minchas Chinuch Pri Megadim, this issue, which touches on many issues of if you have a mitzvah min Torah to fulfill it in a general way, benching, kiddush, and the rabbis come along and give a specific way of doing it, and today you go ahead and don't follow the way the Chachamim set it up, so you clearly don't get the mitzvah min Rabbanan. That gets into, but do you fulfill the mitzvah min Torah? How much power, because the Chachamim have a power to uproot a mitzvah completely, or they could just tell you not to do it. That's a discussion now based on this pasuk of Lo Sar, so we'll have to continue on this.